Are you wanting to get into Jane Austen, trying to read it, but you need a little bit of help trying to understand it? You could join a private book club with Frances. You set the timeline, you set the agenda. Through video calls, emails, chat with Frances, learn more about the story. And she's going to help you understand Austen. And you know what? That would make the world a better place.
Matt!
Kia ora, welcome to the Amateur Austenite. I'm Frances Duncan, author, Austenite and life coach. My co-host is Rachel Pua, book via Austenite and all-around nerd.
Howdy!
We're discussing chapter 20 of Sense and Sensibility. They have dinner with the Palmers and Mrs. Palmer invites them to Cleveland. She's just met them. And Elinor uses the opportunity to try and get some information about Willoughby.
The introduction of the Palmers is an interesting one. It's like the most John Middleton introduction that I think could happen. I'm just going to rock up with these people at your door, and then we're going to chat with you through your window for a bit, and then we're going to come in your house. Now you're going to hang out with all of us.
I think the reason that we meet the Palmers now is so it's not weird that they stay with them when Marianne's sick. So it's not people they've just met.
Yeah. There's a former acquaintance.
Yeah. They don't know each other well. They only spend a couple of days together. But it's not like they're staying in a stranger's house.
Do you think that if they're here so that Marianne can stay with them when they're sick, that Austen wrote about Marianne being sick and being like, oh, she needs somewhere to stay, and then retroactively writing the Palmers in, and that way it'll make sense later on? Or do you think she would have written about the Palmers and then later on being like, oh, I'll just use these people again who I mentioned before?
Don't know. It could have gone either way. We know Austen had a great mind and could keep a lot in her head at one time. So it's possible she already knew where this was going to go, how exactly that was going to happen. They were going to end up at Cleveland. But it's possible she hadn't worked that bit out, and maybe she did retroactively slide the Palmers in earlier in the novel so that when you get further on, they're established characters. They could have just met them in London. But this gives them a chance to be seen by themselves, and when Marianne's not an entire mess, maybe?
Yeah. It would be a little weird for Marianne to just be there and be like, I'm having a mental breakdown. Hey, can you look after me? Can I stay here while I'm unwell? But you've only ever seen me in this state. Am I safe to be in your home? Are you safe with me here?
It also gives a little glimpse at how little Willoughby is known, and it increases the mystery of Willoughby because
He's a mysterious man.
the Palmer's house is 30 miles from his, which is actually a really long way. Elinor's concerned that they only have some idea of Willoughby from the Middletons' partial acquaintance, it's referred to. Mrs. Palmer might be able to give more particular account of his character because they're from the same area. So she starts asking questions. Do you actually know this guy? Mrs. Palmer's so crazy the way she talks about things. I know him extremely well. Not that I ever spoke to him. And then she's like, oh, his house is 10 miles. Oh, no, 30. What? And then she says, I could have married Colonel Brandon. He'd only met me twice, but it's fine. What?
But my mother disapproved. I think Mrs. Palmer is one of the funniest characters. She's described as like really sweet and really lovely and in such good humor, but she is also the most unreliable narrator. And it's unreliable in a different way. Like Mrs. Jennings is unreliable because she spreads gossip without confirming it as factual. Whereas Mrs. Palmer, she just talks about things as if she knows the truth, but contradicts her own version of the story. She's not passing on information she's heard from someone else. She's passing on information she should know, but doesn't know.
She also says, I understand that your sister's going to marry Willoughby. Colonel Brandon told me. Ellen's like, I don't think he'd say that. She's like, well, I told him and he just looked like he agreed with me. What?
What? When it got to that bit in the chapter, I went, hold up. What? He would not. He would never. He would never gossip like that. Especially not about Marianne, who's like a young one who he knows would damage her reputation.
And he might have wanted to ask Mrs. Palmer how the Dashwoods are because she's probably heard from Mrs. Jennings, but he probably couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Be hyper conscious, didn't want to make anybody weird.
I think it says a lot about Mrs. Jennings and Mrs. Palmer, that the fact that this is her first, I guess maybe second time meeting them. Wait, what day is it? Yeah, the next day. Yeah, so this is their second meeting, the next day after they've met her, and Mrs. Palmer already knows so much about their lives and their private lives.
She knew before because the letters from Mrs. Jennings.
Yeah. Like, gossiping is what they do.
They don't have TV.
Yeah. It's just like, oh my God. There is no, oh, maybe I should hold off on that because it's like, no, I'm just going to tell you everything. How long are these letters? These letters must be freaking huge.
I bet Mrs. Jennings are.
Well, do you think Mrs. Jennings would have early arthritis because of writing so many letters? Do you think people in this time frame got arthritis in their hands more frequently from writing letters all the time?
Possibly.
Or like RSI? I get RSI from playing video games.
It was the only way to communicate with people unless they were right down the road.
What a wild time. But again, I feel like I don't call and or text my friends all of the gossip that I hear about everybody else's lives.
I think the implication is meant to be that Mrs. Jennings' head is empty, Mrs. Palmer's head is empty, so they talk about other people. Elinor's not asking Mrs. Palmer to gossip. She's asking for actual information.
Something she cannot provide.
No, and this is supposed to be what gossip's actually about. Gossip's got a really bad rep, particularly because it's something that women do. But historically, I've read arguments that I will now repeat, basically. Gossip ensured that women knew what was going on. They could share information. So you knew which guys to avoid. Stuff like that.
Seems plausible.
But what we consider gossip now often has quite a negative slant to it. You're bitching about someone behind their back. Like, there was a new coffee shop next to my hairdresser, and I just wanted to know who the people were. And I felt a little told off when I was saying something to someone. They're like, oh, I don't gossip. I'm like, I just want to know who they are.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
So you have a bit of familiarity. It's like you going to that party that you were talking about in the previous episode and asking your friend to introduce you to people. So you have some idea who they are.
Yeah.
So you'd feel more comfortable with them. They're not a complete stranger. I mean, they're not a complete stranger to start off with because they're at your friend's party.
Yeah. And so you assume that your friend is vetting them by association of them being at the same party, you know? Like, they've invited these people to be here. They must be okay to associate with.
Yes, and now you see where the Dashwoods got into difficulties with Willoughby and Sir John, because Sir John will invite anyone.
Gossip is a woman's thing, who to stay away from. So John doesn't have that. He doesn't have any sort of, like, he isn't vetting people. He's inviting everybody, regardless of who he invites. Unless one of those people does something truly heinous at his party, like, nothing bad is going to happen to him from any of these acquaintances or these people he's throwing together.
Well, because he's in a very safe position.
Exactly. He could be inviting any sort of riffraff into his home and being like, cool, here you go, enjoy yourself.
Well, yeah, because you know who the next visitors are, right?
Who?
The Steele sisters.
Oh, of course, yes.
He is, as you say, inviting any kind of riffraff into his home.
Yeah. It's like the most casual acquaintance. Like, it's an acquaintance of an acquaintance of an acquaintance. And he's like, oh, you know this person who knows that one. And, oh, well, come over for sure.
That is kind of how society worked at the time, though, because you be at the other end of the country and be like, oh, you know my cousin? We should hang out. Otherwise, I have no one to hang out with for the 6 weeks I'm here.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I have been like, oh, you're going over where my brother's there. Like, let me see if he's free and, like, you guys should hang out.
Mrs. Palmer also invites them to London. It's like, I can get you a house next to us in the most expensive part of London. She has no idea how much money they have.
No.
She's not thought about the practicalities of they live in a cottage.
Yeah. Which she thinks is very sweet. But also, I'm not sure she's convinced she knows how much money she has.
Yeah, that's probably true.
When any mention of Mr. Palmer, he just is a dick. He goes to their house and he just sits and reads the newspaper and doesn't really say anything. And then in this chapter, where it's like,
Sir John is as stupid as the weather.
Yeah. They knew nothing of, like, them coming, and then Mr. Palmer asked me if I would go with him to Barton. He is so droll. He never tells me anything. So your husband just doesn't talk to you about what's happening or what's going on? No wonder you are incredibly naive.
But on the second meeting, Elinor reads him so clearly. He's married a silly woman, and he's a bit embarrassed about it.
That's fair.
And he wants to appear superior to other people. I may have married a silly woman, but I'm not silly. And Austen refers to his superiority of ill breeding. They're all particularly ill-bred. Although Mr. Palmer, at least he's good for a laugh. Mrs. Palmer's so genuine, though. When they arrive, she kind of rushes towards them, sits between them. She's so delighted to see them. She's met them once. It's so welcoming.
Yeah. It's very golden retriever energy. She's just like, I'm just so happy you're here. New friends. This is great. And maybe that is. She's just like, more people I can send letters to and have acquaintances with.
I wonder if she can write. Maybe she's illiterate. It's so rude.
Well, there's a line in here that says to the mother-in-law that Mr. Palmer says this, but then she responds, you may abuse me as you please. You have taken Charlotte off my hands and cannot give her back again. It's just like, bro, really, that's actually kind of really mean of like, I don't want her back. She's your problem now.
Well, prior to that, Lady Middleton is saying to Sir John, we can't have these particular people over for dinner because they dined with us last. Mrs. Dashwood understands the same rules of society. You do back and forth. They come to us, we go to them. And Mrs. Jennings like, we don't stand on ceremony. Me and Sir John are friends with everybody. Mr. Palmer's like, if you did that, that'd be ill-bred. And his wife's like, you contradict everybody. You're quite rude. And this is the most beautiful exchange, the best line. Mr. Palmer says, I did not know I contradicted anybody in calling your mother ill-bred.
Mic drop. Oh!
Even Mrs. Jennings laughed. That's why she's laughing like, well, you can say whatever you want. You got my daughter.
You got my daughter. Your mama. It is like the Jane Austen version of a your mama joke.
Oh, your mama's ill-bred. Oh, I can't imagine Charlotte with Colonel Brandon. She refers to him as grave and dull. So grave and so dull. But would she drag him out of the doldrums?
I think he would become more closed off and reserved. He'd become more dull just to deal with it. I think he'd escape to his mind palace. He'd be like, why am I in this life? What have I done? I was better as a bachelor. We don't know anything about Mr. Palmer's life before they were married. Like, did he marry for her money?
Oh, no, it says a bias in favour of her beauty.
Yeah.
That's why he married her. And Mr. Bennet has the same thing.
Yes, that's true.
I married a silly woman because she was real pretty and I didn't notice there wasn't anything under the surface. But both of them compensate by abusing their wives.
Yeah.
But in a funny way. Like, we play it off like it's okay.
And everyone's like, you're so funny and humorous. It's just kind of like, ugh. Ugh.
Mrs. Palmer is highly diverted anytime he scolds or abuses her, though.
She finds it funny. She's like, he's so droll.
And to be fair, Mrs. Bennet doesn't seem to notice.
No.
So, does that mean it's okay? Oh, this is very confusing.
Would either of their lives be better if they were with better suited people, technically? But who would be better suited? You know, Mrs. Palmer, who would be better suited to her? Someone else who's similar to her, which would mean they would both be very air-headed kind of people? Would it be someone who is maybe more serious but kind, like Colonel Brandon? In which case it's like, well, actually, is that what would be best for Colonel Brandon? Wouldn't it be better for him to have someone who's more like his equal? What would the perfect match here be?
There's difficulties in the disparity in education. Women are not expected to be educated.
Yeah. It's not so much that a man can't desire a smart or, learned or wise wife. It's just that the odds of finding that are not going to be easy. Because you're not giving people the opportunity to do that.
And men are also known to feel threatened by intelligent women.
Yeah, they're scared of us.
We are very scary.
Very scary. And terrifying. Ask all of my coworkers.
Like Austen. She has that very sharp wit. You should be terrified of her.
Yeah. I'll put you in one of my stories and say that your mother is ill-bred.
And that's our discussion of Chapter 20. I've been Frances Duncan. This has been Rachel Pilwer.
Bye!
Thank you for listening, and we wish you happy reading.
Woo.